As we continue to celebrate Black History Month tonight, we are getting an early look at another piece of civil rights history that is coming to the Henry Ford Museum.
The Jackson House is the Alabama home where Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. planned the 1965 Selma marches, and it's coming to the museum next year. But starting this weekend, an exhibit with artifacts from that house will be open to the public.
Well, tonight, 7 News Detroit reporter Christiana Ford is talking to a museum visitor and curators from the Henry Ford about what you can expect.
Selma, Alabama became the center for the movement for voting rights. Now a piece of that history is right here at the Henry Ford. The curators say this is coming at an important time.
Oh, this is nice.
Detroiter Marnice Knox has been coming to the Henry Ford Museum since she was a child and is now back with her own son.
I love that they have new history in the museum.
Knox is especially in awe of the Jackson Home Spotlight, a pop-up featuring never-before-seen artifacts from the voting rights movement.
Especially now it's around Black History Month, the kids get a chance to see or learn something new.
I think probably most famous that people will recognize is the set of pajamas right here, which Dr. Martin Luther King wore while helping to plan the march from Selma to Montgomery.
In this We Shall Overcome exhibit, you'll get a preview of artifacts from the newly acquired Jackson home, a more than 100-year-old time capsule documenting one of the most monumentous movements in U.S. history, the Selma to Montgomery marches, traveling 800 miles to Greenfield Village.
All the things inside of it were packed up and brought up here, and the home itself was essentially shorn up, cut in half as one big structure and taken up here in two halves.
The home of Dr. Sullivan Jackson and Mrs. Richie Jean Sherrod Jackson.
I think what happens is a lot of people, we hear about the big names. We hear about MLK or John Lewis, but we don't hear about the families like the Jackson family who were on the ground opening their home to people, risking their own lives to fight for voting rights. And it's important that their story is uplifted because it's ordinary people like you and I who are helping making this movement happen.
The coffee carafe and cup used to serve movement leaders, legal documents, rare campaign materials, and a voting machine used to train Black voters. All a taste of the wealth of history in one house, getting ready to be shared with the public.
So we're doing a lot of interesting historical detective work in peeling back the layers of this home.
Christiana Ford, 7 News Detroit.
Certainly amazing to go back in time because you always see that home portrayed in movies, but this is the real deal. You can go in and see what it looked like.
It's one of the amazing things about Greenfield Village.
Yeah.
All of those historic places are right there for you to experience.
Gotta go visit.